Duel Nature by Icon. Icon? Icon? I'm going to get this name right. Chapter 12. Shooby-Doo. Toy found herself momentarily forgotten as the ponies around her gaped at the pool, now churning and overflowing. Water spilled over the pool's rim as a rapidly rising puddle on the temple floor. Looks like we've spilled a leak. Everybody out! Said Darkgiggles. Her words seemed to rouse the others and kick-start a stampede of ponies galloping for the tunnel, dragging any artifacts he could lay on her hose on with them. Another tackle, scaly, dexterous, and a sickly pale green, slithered out of the pool when it reached beyond the probing around the edge, sending ripples throughout the water on the floor. Not finding anything, the tentacle retrieved back into the pool. The creature's head broke the surface a moment later. Despite the name, sea ponies only bore a passing resemblance to an actual pony. Their faces was dominated by two bulging milky white eyes that stared out blankly out. In place of a mane was a thin, stretchy membrane twisting as seawater dropped off it. But the worst feature was the thing's maw, a gaping hole in its clammy flesh filled with row after row of jagged teeth. Twilight could even make out a few scraps of the diving suit the mare in the pool had been wearing lodged in between them. Another pony stallion who was much braver or much stupider than the rest of the crew strode towards the pool. He held up a cutlass wrapped around his hump. Sensing movement, the monstrous fish creature turned in his direction and hissed, an awful, raspy sound. Quick as a whip, the sea pony lashed out with one of its tentacles, but the stallion was faster with the blade. The swinging tentacle struck the edge of the cutlass, was bit deeply into it, while the creature let out a feral scream of pain. The pony yanked out the now bloodied sword and stepped up to the pool's edge. He raised his sword. "This is for Deep Blue, you bastard!" he said, drove the sword straight into the creature's open mouth. It screamed as the sword cut deep into the back of his throat and out through the back of his head. Before the pony could pull his hoof away, the mouth clamped shut on his foreleg, trapping him. The creature writhed in pain, death throes whipping the pony around like a rag doll. The dark seeds of more sea ponies appeared below the surface, and more tentacles emerged from the water, wrapping around the unfortunate pony and yanking him back over through the pool. "Anyway, Twilight, as I was saying, Twilight," Darkgiggles stamped her hoof down on the floor by the mouth of the tunnel, pulling the creature's attention away from the horrifying scene playing out in front of her. "Honestly, look at the other ponies when they're talking to you. There's no reason to be rude about this. Now, give me the dagger and you come through the tunnel after us. Otherwise, I'll break your legs right here and leave you for those things. We'll send a couple of divers down for the dagger in a few days." Twilight's mind raced as he put down the dagger, sitting in the rising water. The prospect of becoming sea pony food was too terrifying for her to contemplate. Horn flickered as she slipped a tiny enchantment of her own to the dagger. "Fine, you win. Trade you the dagger for the detonator. Then you got 60 seconds to get moving before I'm coming up the tunnel after you." Gumdrop giggled at her. "I knew you could be reasonable. Hey, you!" She gestured to a green earth pony mare. It was one of the last head ponies heading into the tunnel. The pony came over to her wordlessly. "Bring this over to her, nice and slow. Twilight, you never take the dagger over to me, and we'll swap them at the same time. Try to say anything funny, bite down on it," she said. The earth pony took the offered device out of her mouth and began to walk towards Twilight slowly. In return, Twilight floated the dagger towards the pirate captain as quickly as she dared. Gundrop took the dagger and began to trot down the tunnel as the mare reached Twilight. She spat out what she had been holding in her mouth. It was a hunk of gray rock. "Sorry, Twilight. Looks like I lied." Gundrop's voice echoed forth from inside the tunnel. The room shook as a series of small explosions went off all over the wall around the tunnel. Rocks tumbling down, burying the edges of the tunnel to several tons of runnel. The green mare ran over to where the tunnel had been and started digging through the rocks. "Wait, Captain! I'm still in here! Come back!" she begged. But the damage to the base of the temple structure, Twilight could feel the ambient enchantment keeping the water out, begin to shake, weaken and shift. Sure enough, the water from the pool was rushing out in a small geyser. The water was already up to her knees. In a minute it would be deep enough for those things to swim out of the pool. She doubted she'd be able to clear the tunnel entrance before then. "If I survive this, I swear to Celestia, first thing I am doing is developing a spell that turns rocks into cotton candy," she thought to herself. She pulled her thoughts together and took a few deep breaths. She managed to recover somewhat from her fall and being knocked around, though she still like she might have twisted an ankle when she landed. Looking back up at the balcony above her, she focused her mind and teleported, landing on the floor above. The mirror below had turned around when she heard the telltale pop of her teleport. When she realized she was alone now, her flank nearly deeper in a pool of water, she was about to be invaded by sea ponies. She started to sob. Twilight, please don't leave me here. Please help me. I'm sorry. Don't let them get me. Please. As she pulled herself onto the pedestal, the giant sea serpent stood upon the dark shapes, pulled themselves out of the pool, and began to explore the murky sea water that covered the floor. Twilight spared a glance at the railing, overlooking the scene below. The water wouldn't stop rising, not until it flooded the whole temple. It was vital to get out as quickly as possible, tell some point what had happened. She didn't have the time or energy to waste just trying to save a pony that, up until a minute ago, had been a part of a gang trying to kill her. She brought this on herself, really. Twilight didn't have any reason of her own to risk her neck to save her after that. She turned and stared down the hallway. She could see the doorway to the entrance that she had entered the temple through. All she had to do was try away. I don't want to die like this. Damn it! Twilight looked down the railing again. Water was lapping over the edge of the pedestal. Once the sea ponies realized there was food there, they'd be on her in seconds. Twilight scrunched up her eyes and focused on the statue itself. Her magic wrapped around it and pulled. The metal groaned, but the statue didn't budge. She pulled harder. Just when she thought she was going to be able to move it, the statue began to shift. At first it moved slowly, but then began to fall faster, pulling further off the base. She released it for a moment, it teetered at the edge of the balance before it toppled over. The top burst through the railing of the balcony she was on. The statue's face sank into the floor, forming an awkward ramp to the pedestal to the second floor. Climb! Said Twilight as she panted for breath. Mary didn't need to be told twice. She shimmied up the back of the statue and took Twilight's proffered hoof, using it to pull herself back up to the balcony. She had to collapse to the floor. The mare stood up and brushed herself off as Twilight took a closer look at her. She had a lime green coat with some sort of coin near the blue for a key mark, and a golden blonde mane. Thanks, Twilight, she said. You're, welcome. What did you say your name was? I can't just call you Hey You, said Twilight. Right. I guess we were never explicitly formally introduced, are we? I'm Ample Booty. She said. And don't bother with whatever about you saying. I heard all the jokes. Okay then, Ample. You're some kind of pirate or something? Industrials is your captain? Do I have that straight? That's right. Hey, when you grow up poor and your name's Ample Booty, you got two possible careers. And trust me when I tell you that pirate's better than the other one. But maybe we can talk about this later? Say Ample. Hey, you don't necessarily have to be a porn star. You could be an erotic dancer, a stripper. But how does stripping work into pony wares? Don't ask Trixie. So I rose to her hose again and looked down at the water rising below. The floor was already under several feet of water, and if anything was rising faster than before. Twilight thought for a moment, and lowered her horn towards the surface. A stream of magic blasted out and spread water over the ice crystals, began to form as Twilight's spell pulled the heat out of the wire. Shady light spread to every corner of the room, grew thicker until the water underneath was sealed up completely, stopped rising. That should buy us a little time. I'm 100% sure a sea pony can't break through ice that thick, said Twilight. She slumped to think a way out of the temple. She was interrupted by a large stud from the ice below. She looked down again. She could see the sea ponies under the ice, vaguely, but they'd been doing for something new, something much, much bigger. The she perceived from the ice and then charged upwards again, drawing itself against it. You said you're 100% sure, right? Asked Ample. Well, maybe 99% certain, replied Twilight. She slammed against the ice again. It cracked. Let's take that, run. The two mares tore down the hallway. Twilight shined to Ample with a warning about the pit trap up ahead, just in time for both of them to leap clear of it. Behind them, Twilight heard the ice barrier shatter and the sound of water rushing in. The two emerged outside the temple. Dome magic above them twisted and shimmered as if on a losing battle against the pressure of water seeping through. Twilight reinforced the water-breathing spell on herself and extended to Ample as well. Still, once the sea ponies got out of the temple, she didn't want to be caught paddling around waiting for the water to fill the dome. Ample, I need you to trust me. Don't let go of my hoof, she said. She got foreleg and let Ample take hold of it. Why? What are you going to... Whatever Ample had about to say was cut off as Twilight fired a short blast of energy at the dome above, dispelling it completely. Twilight threw up a quick shield against the first blast of pressure. It was still nearly swept away as the ocean rushed in around her. Just a few seconds, the pocket of air had rocketed to the surface. The temple was submerged once again. The simultaneous pressure sent a plume of sand and dirt up to the front of the ocean floor. Twilight couldn't even see Ample through the murk. You noticed he could feel her clinging to her foreleg. Pushing out for the temple, Twilight kicked at the water in what she hoped was the direction of the ocean's surface. The churning water would conceal them from the sea ponies, but Twilight wasn't sure how long that would last. The ascent took less than 2 minutes, but felt to Twilight like it must have been at least 10. Twilight was overshowing when her head finally breached the surface as he got her first lungful of natural air. The two mares had come up about 50 meters for the Tranquility, which was rocking violently. The giant air bubble Twilight had sent up must have nearly capsized it. If people realized that if this effect followed any sense of reality, Twilight would start getting to beds right about now. The sea ponies had gotten there first. Half a dozen tentacles were lashed onto the hull, and Twilight could see the monsters trying to pull themselves onto the deck of the ship. Bolts of fire and magic erupting from the ship. Twilight were fighting back and seemed to be doing a pretty good job of it. Twilight saw Rhino stick his head over the side and fire one bolt of the air's emergency flares straight down into the face of one of the sea ponies, who screamed and fell back into the water. Captain! Over here! Twilight called out, struggling to be heard over the battle of water. Twilight saw him look up at them and nod. He spotted them. Fortunately, so had the sea ponies. 3 more of them had been clinging to the hull, dragged back into the water, deciding that this prey looked more like appetizing, and a lot less likely to set them on fire. Twilight was desperately searching her mind for something she could do while pulling in the wire when Luna leapt off the side of the boat, soaring down towards them with a rope dangling from her mouth. She barely slowed down as she reached them. Twilight and Ample lunged for the lifeline, wrapped their legs around it as he yanked them out of the water. Just moments before, a half-dozen tentacles reached out, searching for the morsels that had been suddenly denied to him. The princess flew back to the Tranquility, and the 3 of them landed roughly on the deck. Luna turned her head and casually blasted a sea pony that stuck his head over the side of the railing. These creatures appeared a few moments ago, although I feared the worst. Were you able to find the dagger? Twilight shook her head. Cindy dropped was scaring from her soaking wet mane. Somebody else took it, and then tried to keep me from following her by flooding the temple. This is Ample Booty, by the way. She was working with her. You were able to overpower her and take a prisoner? Excellent work, said Luna. Prisoner? Twilight looked over at Ample, who shrugged. Here, let's go with that, said Twilight. What about these sea ponies? Luna scoffed. They possess little talents. We do not anticipate they will have any difficulty dispossessing the rest of them. In response, the water out over the temple began to churn and foam. The sea ponies that were clinging to their tranquility dropped away and fled back to the depths. Mud and sand in the water had been cleared enough that Twilight could make out a massive shape moving towards the surface. The thing that had broken through her ice barrier had gotten out of the temple and followed her here. Twilight's stomach dropped as the creature emerged and got a first good look at it. It was exactly what she'd been afraid of. A sea pony queen. Now, once again, Twilight, you see, this is your fault. I have a strange feeling because you took something from her again. You're laying all day for that movie joke, weren't you? Yep. Sea pony queens were sometimes referred to sailors as dragons of the sea. Survivors told of single ones sinking entire convoys of orange ships. Their thick hides shrugged off spears, magic, and arrows alike. Their jaws reinforced the holes in a single bite. Even worse, they were vicious, bloodthirsty, and cunning, sometimes keeping a few victims alive for days in the hopes of drawing in would-be rescuers to an ambush. Twilight thought she might, on her best day with a lot of luck, be able to escape from one alive. Today was not turning out to be her best days. Lord Twilight could fully characterize all the ways she was utterly, completely doomed. She was nearly blinded as a column of light plummeted from the heavens to strike the monster. A scream of pain as the light enveloped it, burning through his carapace like it wasn't even there, and cooking it alive before the creature even knew what was happening. In a flash, the light faded, and the sea pony queen just wasn't there anymore. A few mini chunks that looked like they had been once part of it bobbed in spoiling waves. Twilight had read the legends of Luna's Moonfire, but she never expected to see it in action. Also, instead, little charlottes, said Luna. Perhaps using Moonfire was somewhat excessive, though he felt was the only way to be effective. Luna walked over to where Ample was staring out over the wire, her jaw slacked. Don't have a little, she kissed her own cheek. When Ample didn't respond, Luna reached down and wiped away the few bits of ichor that splattered on her face. We will begin questioning you in 5 minutes. We suggest you cooperate fully, she said and walked back to the ship's cabin. Ample Booty was quite forthcoming about Gunjar Giggles after that. The pirate crew was more of a criminal gang that based out of Pensacola than anything else, one that Gundrop had been running for some time. While they certainly had been just a loose knit of criminals and thugs, it seemed that over the last few years their bosses had decided to upgrade, bringing new muscle from out of town and becoming more ambiguous. It was then that she started regaling her crew with stories of Ouroboros and how they'd be willing to see soon. While Apple had been willing to tell them what they wanted to know so far, she could not when they asked where Gundar Giggles was going. No way. I'm not going to rat them out. Besides, even if I told you, they'll move by the time you get there. You'll never catch them. Her voice had more of a hint of pride in it. Shit. You are useless to us all after all then. You attempted to murder Twilight earlier. Why should we not simply drop you in the middle of the ocean right now and sail away? You look like to be a strong swimmer. You might even have a 1 in 5 chance of reaching the shore before dawn. Or something catches you, said Luna. Twilight shuddered. She's pretty sure this was all an act, but the princess was a little too good for her comfort. Did you do your worst then? I won't talk, said Abel. Actually, princess, we don't need her to tell us that. Before they took the knife from me, I slipped a tracking spell onto it. We should be able to follow it back to wherever they were going, said Twilight. Luna glanced over at her, expression wavering somewhere between impressed and annoyed at the interruption. Very well. It seems that you're a lucky day, Apple. We were nearly at the docks now anyway. What do you think we should do with you? Abel blinked as he processed the question. Let me go, she suggested. Luna just chuckled. So you can run home and warn the others that we're on our way. You think not? We guess it'd just be easiest to kill you now. You've been modestly healthy, and we can make it quick and fairly painless. Unless you have a better option. So tie me up here, Dad. You can always turn me in later on, said Impel. Luna considered this, but shook her head. We only suspect that you suggest that because you believe you can untie any knot we come up with. Care to try again? Asked Luna. Impel threw her oaths up and crossed them over her chest, refusing the answer. Twilight considered the problem. Princess, what about another binding? She swears not to leave the room. That way none of us have to stay behind and watch her, she said. That would be acceptable, Luna said, nodding. Alpin, are you familiar with that sort of magic? A little bit. I make a promise and you cast a spell that keeps you from breaking it, right? Said Impel. More or less. If you swear an oath not to leave this room, we will allow you to stay here while we deal with the remainder of your crew. Impel thought about this for a moment. Okay, deal. Do it. Luna's horn glowed and sparkled. The sparks of magic coalesced around Impel Booty and hovered there expectantly. I swear not to leave this room unless I ask Princess Luna, Twilight, or Rhinos to permit you to do so first, said Impel. As she did, the magic floated to her, and she glowed gently as she uptook cold. Forgive us if we ask that you test it before you go, said Luna, gesturing towards the open door. Impel got up and tried to walk through it, but it didn't even take a step before the threshold before some invisible force drew her back. Smart. If you attempt to break the oath, you will be alerted. Keep in mind that we are being quite merciful in this matter. Cross us, and we will consider that approach. While Luna walked out the room, began climbing the stairs up to the boat's deck. Impel Booty would be confined to the storage room until the following morning, when he could turn her over to law enforcement. Princess, you weren't really going to kill Ample, right? Says Twilight. Did not become necessary to do so, Luna replied. The princess had many good qualities, but Twilight had long come to accept her reassuring pep talks were a bit lacking. Twilight, you're limping. Did something happen to your leg? Twilight looked down at the ankle as she turned back in the temple. Now that the rest of her adrenaline had faded, she noticed it hurt quite a bit. Nothing I can't handle, princess, said Twilight. Did you see? Said Luna as she took a look between her own and gently turned it. Twilight winced as the pain shot up her leg. This seems to be a slight sprain. I can heal it, but you need to avoid putting too much force on it for the next half hour or so. Without waiting for Twilight to reply, she channeled a gentle wave of magic into the limb. It was immediately stopped hurting. Twilight pushed her hoof against the ground, twisting her way on it. It did feel a lot better. Thanks, Luna, but I can't just sit here waiting for half an hour before we go out tracking the dagger. The way my night's been going so far, there's probably a lot more coming. We will just stop when the time comes. Now come. If Gumdrop does have all three artifacts, she could be undoing the bindings at any time, said Luna. Princess, she really figured out how to control Ouroboros, right? Magic control something so powerful must be complicated. Luna hesitated. It would not be as difficult as you might believe. The most difficult parts of the spell are already woven into the dagger by its very nature. Honestly, not magic would be comparatively simple. Sealing Ouroboros away was the path we chose because not controlling it would have been difficult, but because we feared the consequences of so much power in a single set of hooves. Either way, we cannot take the chance of somebody tampering with the seal. The two of them emerged onto the deck as the boat slid onto the dock. Twilight gripped one of the ropes and tightened and Reynolds emerged from the cabin. Did she tell you where you can find a knife? Twilight placed a talking spell on it. Ample booty is contained for the time being. The three of us must make haste and find the dagger before the attempt to summon Ouroboros. Captain, Twilight's right foreleg is sprained. We have placed our healing magic upon it, but she needs time to recover fully. Until then, we'll need to carry her so she does not slow our progress, said Luna. What? Cried both Luna and Twilight and Reynolds. And please. The two unicorns blinked and looked at each other. Twilight recovered first. Fine, as long as it's just for a half hour, and none of us ever speaks to this again, she said. Agreed. Climb on, said Reynolds. Rolling his eyes, he let Twilight climber onto his back. Twilight activated the tracking spell she placed on the dagger. It had been a slapdash thing, close together at the last second. It would work, but the readings it gave wouldn't be specific or reliable until she got closer to her quarry. She let the spell point her in the opposite direction, stuck a hoof in the shadow's right side of the signal, finding it pointing it towards the middle of Pensacola. That way! She said, and the three of them took off, Miles carrying Twilight along the ground while Luna took to the air. Twilight winced. Being carried around like this was humiliating. Still, at least he wasn't likely to run to any pony she knew from Ponyville. Lyra and Bonbon stepped out of the Pensacola train station into the cool night air. Wah, wah, wah. The trip had taken far longer than it should have. Delays along the first leg of the trip had resulted in them missing their connection in Manhattan. An unexpected 3-hour layover for the next train. At least he finally arrived, even if it was the middle of the night. Oh, come on, Bonnie. We had a rough time getting there. We still got a week to enjoy the city. The beaches, the amenities, the restaurants. Pissed Lyra to her Philly friend. Was Bonbon's only reply. As far as you were concerned, the vacation together was off to an awful start. It was already after midnight. It's fun. Nothing more than get to our hotel and collapse. We're on vacation. We're getting away from it all. Celestia knows you need a break. How long did we figure it's been since you took time off from working at the candy store? Nearly 3 years. We'll sleep in late tomorrow, okay? Or, well, we don't have to sleep late, but we don't have to get out of bed either. I still will think of something, right? Lyra leaned over and gently bit down a particular spot behind her left partner's ear. Mama let out an adorable eat that Lyra would never grow tired of. Stop that! Somebody might see us, Bonbon hissed. Lyra just chuckled and saw it out their special sun pony. So, no pony in the city even knows who we are. Think about it. Spa appointments and sunbathing all day long. We can even go skinny dipping in the ocean. Lyra, we're naked nearly all the time. We're skinny dipping nearly every time we go swimming. But it sounds so much naughtier when you call it skinny dipping, Lyra pointed out, undeterred. Besides, as exciting as the days are going to be, they got nothing on what I got planned out for the nights. Lyra trailed off, better to let her lover's mind run away with her. Sure enough, she started to blush again a moment later. Best of all, none of the usual Ponyville craziness. That's what you need most to break from, isn't it? All the monster phases and crazy stuff that seems to come around every other week. I promise, none of that stuff happens here. This way, princess! Called out a voice from down the street. Unicorn Stallion got down the way. A very familiar-looking lavender unicorn ran his back. The ponies ran up to the train station and stopped. The lavender mare looked around, eyes falling into Lyra and Bonbon. She did a double-take and stared at the pair. Lyra? Bonbon? Twilight? Ventured Lyra. What are you doing here? Oh, singing across here again, I guess. What about you? Replied Twilight. Vacation, replied Bonbon. A tassel atmosphere of awkwardness descended upon the four ponies. None of them could think of anything to say next. Twilight Sparkle, called a voice from above. Lyra and Bonbon looked up, and instinctively they dropped down into a bow when they recognized Luna, Princess of the Night, on the nearby edge of the rooftop. There is no time. Fairy talk, small talk now. The fate of the city has it about it. We must stop the somebody against the ancient evil that is even now emotional. Every life is forfeit. Twilight paused, and her horn glowed briefly. That way, she said, and the three of them took down a side street. Lyra and Bonbon were left gaping at the retreating trio. A moment passed in silence before Bonbon picked up their bags and turned towards the train station. Like this, we're vacationing at ski lodge next week. Not so much later. Twilight, Rhinos, and Luna arrived at the warehouse in the meeting of a seemingly abandoned part of town. You must be cautious, said Luna from above. We believe that we felt some sort of magic ritual begun a moment ago. They are beginning to unravel the seal. They are not sure what the consequences would be of finally destructing it, but you are in no such hurry to find out. Twilight nodded. The subtle approach was called for. She could do that. She got down off of Rhinos. It had probably been long enough that her ankles mostly healed. She pushed the open the back door of the warehouse, and the three ponies snuck inside. She was struck by how empty the warehouse was. She had expected it to be crawling with Doc Pickles' lackeys. But there hadn't been seen any pony hair. Twilight wondered if she found the wrong building. But her tracking spell was shouting that the dagger was here somewhere. She held up a hoof as she spotted light spilling out from underneath the door on the far wall. She crept up quietly, carefully. Twilight ran to hoof the door around her mask and yanked up his hinges. Chelsea behind her, charging into the room. The room had prepared for a magic ritual. Twilight spied the plate, bullet, dagger in the middle of a carefully crafted spell circle. Candles strategically positioned to channel mana to the artifacts of some nefarious purpose. I do approve! Oh, sorry guys. Today's straw man is the riffers from one of my stories. They complained about the use of mana in Fall Starfleet. And apparently they have this thing against using mana or key or other stuff like that in your story when you want to use, something to describe the ley lines of magic within the area. So, you don't approve of this? No. Well, what do you approve then? I don't know, I just don't approve. So, you really don't approve, so you just want to be complaining for the sake of complaining. Yes, I thought so. Artifacts is a nefarious purpose. On the circle's far side are two cloaked figures. Pink wings protruding from them left little doubt that Twilight found Gundark giggles. Wait, cloaked figures? Oh shoot, we're in the middle of a reunion. You were waiting for a Final Fantasy joke, weren't you? Yes, I was. So you sure knew the other figure was too. The Jigga's up buried secrets, shouted Twilight. I know you're the one who held the Pirates Rot Museum, even if I don't know how you could let them do something so awful. Then he pointed towards the temple where they could find the dagger. All for the share of riches that they'll have once they take control of Ouroboros. Twilight chuckled. I didn't realize this until now, but you basically just ripped off the plot of Dairy Dew in the spirit of Wendigos. The figure threw up his hooves. Come on, spoilers! Come on! The book isn't even out yet. I was going to read it. Twilight's heart dropped. That voice was familiar, but it wasn't Professor Secret's. Bronze? Okay, really? How many people saw this twist coming? How many people knew that this was going to happen? About all of you. Pretty good, thank you.